and gentlemen, round 2 of the job centre bus. Serving for the second time, but this time I'm going to tell you exactly what to do for the law. You've got a manager I can speak to, please, Law.
Can I just take your name?
Yeah, Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, what's your first name, Mr. Thomas?
Mark.
Mark. I
Yeah.
sent that letter for you.
No, this is a different
Oh,
one.
is this a different letter?
Just to let you know, liability of DWP employees, I must emphasise that any DWP employee who knowingly participates in actions that violate my rights is liable both on a personal level, that means you at your home, and a professional level. The principles established in the Nuremberg Code affirm that orders do not absolve individuals from accountability for unethical actions.
Okay, do you want me to
Each
get the money?
participant has a duty, you need to know this.
Okay, thank you.
Each participant has a duty, including you guys, because you watch them doing it, to uphold fundamental human rights, and those who fail to do so may be personally responsible for resulting in harm.
Okay.
Under GDP UK law, you do not have the right to ask people for bank statements. It's against the law and illegal. If I receive any more communications from yourselves about my bank statements, I'm going to see it as malicious communications.
So, can I just stop you there now?
No,
Would you like me to
just
get
give
the
me a
manager
second,
for you?
because I'm nearly finished.
Okay.
Now, this is the notice of your legal action. If these infringements on my rights persist from this place or anything to do with anyone in this place, I will be prepared to seek damages from the DWP and for any associates involved in this unethical procedure. I remind the DWP that it is not above universal laws, and the declaration from a higher authority, i.e. Starmer, does not give you immunity from international accountability, i.e. the laws of the world. This is not a wartime environment. There's no war going on out there. Can you see a war, anybody? No. It's not a wartime environment, and such actions cannot be justified under any claim necessity. In conclusion, I request an immediate cessation of all attempts of access to my financial information. I urge the DWP to comply with both national and international legal standards and to respect my rights as guaranteed by law. I am prepared to escalate this further and take this through the appropriate channels if my rights continue to be infringed. Now, if you could give that to the DWP and say to them, if I get any more, receive any more phone calls, any more letters, anything asking for my bank statements, which they do not legally have the right to ask for, I will be suing this
Would you like to
place.
see the manager?
No,
I'll pass it to the
it's all
manager.
online.
Fine, I'll pass it
Everything's
to the manager.
online. The last video's on 170,000 views on TikTok.
Absolutely fine, Mr. Thomas.
You're internet famous, love, and you don't even know it.
Absolutely fine.
Take care. Goodbye.
So-
Morning, guys. I've had loads of people asking me to come online and explain to them exactly what it is that I've actually said to the social to stop them asking for my bank statements and what laws I've used. So I'm going to read out the letter I've sent, but if anybody wants the letter, at the end of this video there's going to be a picture of a group that I run on Facebook, and if you add yourself to that group, it'll be in the files, the template will be in the files on that group, so you can actually download the template yourself and rewrite it or put your own stuff in. So basically this is what I've got here. Obviously I've took my own names out the top and stuff. So basically this is to the Department of Work and Pensions, subject formal complaint regarding violations of human rights, equality and privacy laws. To whom it may concern, I'm writing to formally object to what I believe to be fraudulent and unethical attempt by the Department for Work and Pensions, the DWP, to obtain unauthorised access to my personal banking information. Now, someone said to me yesterday online, and I hope you got to see this, that apparently when you sign into your UC, you sign as part of that you're not going to hold them accountable under the human rights. Well, that's against Article 30 of the human rights. You're not above these laws, the social, if you're watching, so stop thinking you are, because you're not, and neither are you, Starver. You're defo not above, you know, just because you say something doesn't mean the whole country has to follow you, mate. There's a difference between acts and laws, as you'll find out. So anyway, the DWP to obtain unauthorised access to my banking information, infringing upon my rights under multiple laws and treaties. This effort appears to rely on a document I was misled into signing, which continues and contains provisions allegedly intended to exempt the DWP from accountability to the United Nations Human Rights Council. This exemption, if asserted, would in itself be a violation of fundamental human rights and is legally invalid. Human rights violations under Article 8 of the European Convention of Human Rights, incorporated into UK law through the Human Rights Act. I'm entitled to respect for my private and family life, including financial privacy. Unauthorised attempts by the DWP to access my bank account without my clear, voluntary and informed consent directly infringe upon this right. Additionally, any effort to circumvent accountability through a manifesto or internal policy defies Article 30 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which stipulates that no authority, that's the dole, may engage in actions aimed at the destruction of rights guaranteed under the Declaration. Now, also, they violated my violations under the Equality Act because I've got Asperger's and ADHD. So the second is violations under the Equality Act 2010. As an individual with ADHD and Asperger's syndrome, I'm protected under the Equality Act of 2010, which prohibits discrimination based on disability and mandates reasonable adjustments to ensure fair treatment. By failing to ensure that I was fully informed and consenting in any documentation, the DWP has neglected its legal duty to provide an accessible process that respects my rights, consisting a violation of this Act. The distinction between Acts of Parliament and law, it is essential to clarify the distinction between an Act of Parliament and a law. An Act of Parliament serves as statutory guidance, but does not carry the inviolable enforceability of common law practice. Whilst Acts provide legislative framework for governance, they do not override the fundamental protections guaranteed by common law or international human rights standards. Human rights protections cannot be selectively negated by national legislation. So that one's for you, Starmer. You can't turn around and tell everyone that they're allowed to do that, because they're not, and you ain't above the law. Just because you say to people that you can do this doesn't mean you can. You're not above the law and you're not accountable, pal, as you're finding out through the country. Liability of DWP employers. Now, this is where this now gets them. I must emphasise that any DWP employer who knowingly participates in actions that violate my rights is liable on both a personal and professional level. That means I can put a claim in against them personally, as a personal person, and on a professional level for working for the dole. The principles established in the Nuremberg Code affirm that orders do not absolve individuals from accountability for unethical actions. Each participant has a duty to uphold fundamental human rights, and those who fail to do so may be personally responsible for any resulting harm. Number 5, data protection violations under UK GDPR. Under the UK General Data Protection Regulation, I have a right to privacy in matters of personal data. Unauthorised attempts to access my financial information are likely in breach of these data protection laws. Any action without my clear, informed consent is unlawful under Article 6 of the UK GDPR, which mandates that data processing must be lawful, fair and transparent. Now, what that means, DWP, is that your people can't sit there and start trying to access people's files and basically get them to unwittingly give consent to doing so. The next one is number 6, malicious communications. Furthermore, any communication sent to me as part of this campaign that is intended to mislead, threaten or coerce me into compliance may constitute a violation of Malicious Communications Act of 1988. Under this Act, it is unlawful to send any communication with the intent to cause distress, harassment and alarm. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to scare people to think that they're going to lose the money. Anxiety, especially where it involves deceit or coercion, and that's what you're doing, isn't it? You're deceiving the people and then coercing them, and you're deceiving the people into thinking that they have to give you the statements, and deceiving them as to saying why, when the only reason you are really legally allowed to ask for the statements is for proof of address. And you don't need to get that off a bank statement, do you? So, notice of potential legal action. If these infringements on my rights persist, I will be prepared to seek damages from the DWP and from any associates involved in this unethical procedure. I remind the DWP that it is not, I repeat, not, for the third time, above universal laws, and a declaration from a higher authority, as in Mr. Starmer, does not grant immunity from international accountability. That means that if you carry on doing what you're doing and the people keep holding you accountable, you're going to be in very big trouble because you're not allowed to do what you're doing. This is not a wartime environment, and such actions cannot be justified under any claimed necessity. I hope you understand that, Mr. Starmer, and I hope you understand that, the head of the DWP. Stop asking people to give you their bank statements when you've got no legal right to do so. And stop telling people, lying to them, saying that they have to do it. Because if you stop anybody's money for them not giving you bank statements, you are in a lot of trouble, mate. You're in a lot of trouble, a lot of yous. In the conclusion, I request an immediate cessation of all attempts of access to my financial information. I urge the DWP to comply with both national and international legal standards and to respect my rights as guaranteed by law. By law, not acts, law. I am prepared to escalate this matter through all appropriate channels if my rights continue to be infringed. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and then my name. So that is how I am telling them that they can't do what they do. Because if they do, and they come back to me saying, oh, well, we're going to take your statements, or not that I've got anything to hide, I haven't got anything to hide, I haven't got a pot to piss in. Do you know what I mean? Like the rest of us in the country, because we're getting robbed left, right and centre by the government. But at the end of the day, I don't see why I should have to go and give some nosy fucker in the dole my bank statements. Why should I do that? Who the fuck are they to ask that? Do you know what I mean? You want to know? And all these people that are doing it unwittingly, you do realise, one, you can get a black pen and paint, go all over your transactions, because they're not asking you for your transactions, they're asking you for proof of address. They're just getting your transactions because they're sneaky little bar stewards. That's what it's all about. So, obviously, I've not been yet, but I will have been by the time you've seen this. You'll have seen the video of me going into the dole and telling them that this is how they're breaking the law. And then I'm going to upload it for everybody else to go online and actually see for themselves. And at the end of this video, there's going to be a picture of the group that I run on Facebook. If you add yourself to that group and go into the files, the template of this letter is on the files. I wish everybody good luck. I hope all of you send a clear message to these people that you're not above the law and that you're not going to abuse we the people anymore. It's not going to happen. Just because someone in Parliament decides that they think that it's right doesn't mean that it is. And an act of Parliament and a law are two totally different things. So I will abide by the laws, and you can keep your acts to yourself, because I'm not interested in your guidance or your acts. I'm just interested in the law. And the law is that you can't do this under Article 8. And if you do try to do it, you'll be breaking Article 30. So I am inviting you, the dole, I dare you to stop my money. I dare you to take me to try and do this, because I will take you to court and I'll go to the United Nations Human Rights Council. And all you people that send these letters out there to them, make sure you keep all the letters that they send back. Because if they say for any reason whatsoever, apart from the reasons I've just given you, that they can do this, then we can all take them as a collective to court and show them that we, the people, will not be told what to do by some idiot that's in Parliament and his acts of Parliament. You can keep your acts of Parliament, mate. You can't, well, you could run a piss up in that place because you've proved that, but you know, you can't run this country. The only thing you're doing is running this country into the ground and stealing off the very people that have funded the country for years. Do you know what I mean? Smokers are the biggest funders in the country. They're the ones that pay the most tax. 17 quid for a pack of cigs, 3 quid for the same pack in Spain that's been shipped over there. So what are we paying 14 quid extra for, Starmer? Where's all the money going? Sick of you trying to abuse us all. Well, this is my answer to you, the dole. Stick that right where the sun don't shine, mate, because that's what you're getting off me. That and this letter right here. Take care, guys. Peace out, and you know, let's keep this going, as many people as possible. Take care. Bye.